in this video, we'll start with a Google ADK sample and then offload the core logic, the guardrails, tool access, versioning, and observability to LangDB AI Gateway with minimal changes in the code. So let's get started with the Google ADK sample. So this is a sample I got there from the documentation. It's an agent to give you the current time according to the time zone. So let's run it. ADK run agent. So let's check the time in New York. As you could see, it used a Gemini 2.0 Flash model and I got the time. However, what if I want to use Anthropic model? So here's where LangDB come into play. So I have another sample, exact same sample. It's just that I used a LangDB provider and I use Anthropic 3.7 Sonnet. The rest all things remain the same. So let's run that model. Let's just exit this, clear, LangDB. This is the time in New York. As this sample is running, we could see the live traces on LangDB dashboard. So let's go onto the dashboard. Let's go into threads, and we could see our query has run. So okay, here's the in the threads. We could also see the trace, and in a trace, we see all the details about the run. You could see it costed $0.07. It took around 6.45 seconds. The total number of input and output tokens. There's a Gantt chart as well as a dependency graph of the run. So there's a 3.7 model. There's that tool there. So with LangDB, you get complete observability over your LLM workflows, regardless of the library used. Before we get started on how to build your own virtual model, let's step back and ask, why do we need structured project environments and team management? And what makes an AI gateway indispensable? So project isolate environments, you would like your staging data, production data to live in separate silos. That will prevent accidental leaking of sensitive data, keeps the traffic from inflating your bills, and lets you promote your changes safely when they are ready. So LangDB offers you project organization. You could create a new project, set limits to that project, as well as you could add and manage users. So let's go here and check out. There are 4 users with different roles, and you can assign a cost group for each one of them. Similarly, you can manage your API keys, as well as check out usage. This will give you an overview of different projects. So here is an overview of a models project, and I could see all the providers and their usage, as well as there's a section for models which gives you access to 300 plus models and MCP servers deployed by LangDB. So let's come back to the projects and let's head into one of the projects. Let's go into models. This is an old project which I was using to test out models and few agentic workflows. Let's go to dashboard to see the statistics. So analytics page will give you access to different types of metrics. It will show you the total cost of the project over a time period. So this is last month, time, number of requests, time to first token, throughput, number of errors, error rate, number of users, time per output token, tokens per second. You can also check out P99, P95 depending upon your requirements, and you can change it by tags and providers. We talked about cost management in a project, so let's go over that briefly. So in settings, there's a cost control where you could set up limits for the project, also set up limits per user. Let's see here, $5 per user, monthly limit should be 10, as well as you could set up cost groups, which I discussed in users and roles, and you could set up limits for them as well for a project. This setting allows fine-grained control over your project as well as users, so that you could manage them efficiently and effectively. We talked about projects, let's talk about virtual model. Virtual model encapsulates unit amount of work required by agents. This means you can offload functionality to the gateway and iterate over multiple versions without changing the code. This allows you to track cost and other analytics, which we discussed in the project's overview. So let's start with creating a virtual model. In virtual model, you can create a router if needed, as well as cache the responses using response caching. But for now, let's use a base model of GPT 4.1. Let's use a guardrail of OpenAI moderation. You can also attach a tool directly here through virtual MCPs. You can check the documentation of guardrails as well as virtual MCP for more details. Let's go also change the parameter. I want to make the temperature to 4.3, or let's keep it 4.4, and let's save it as ADK agent. So as you can see, version 1 is live with latest. With more changes, you can create more versions and publish them as you like. So for now, let's go back and get the virtual model identifier. Let's copy the virtual model name, put it instead of the Anthropic 3.7 Sonnet. I already set up a virtual MCP here, but let's get started with the code. Okay, so this MCP would also allow you to web search. So let's start with query like, what is the time in Paris? And tell me the latest news about the city. As you can see, we have got some output from the model. Let's go to LangDB UI and check out the traces. So okay, this is the thread. Let's check out the traces and let's go full screen. Since we attached a guardrail, there's a guard here, OpenAI moderation. Let's click on it and see it has passed the guardrail. There's also details about the tools used. There's get current time as well as stabily search. And all this have been done through a virtual model. And it's very easy to log all the details, because we could see it costed around $0.1, 3000 input tokens, around 250 output tokens, and it took around 10 seconds. We could see more details in the dependency graph. There's a run, virtual model, the guardrail, the base model, the tools attached to the base model. So why you need virtual model, if you ask again? This will allow you to offload your main logic to the virtual model. You get centralized guardrails, tool management, as well as safe versioning and end-to-end observability, while all your other code remains untouched. Let's talk about benefits of using LangDB AI Gateway. LangDB's AI Gateway accelerates your AI experimentation by moving all the model configuration, such as prompts, guardrails, tool integration, into a central dashboard. First, tweak and test your virtual models on the fly with A/B testing and no-code updates. Next, gain full visibility of every tool call, every model call, and token usage. Apply consistent guardrails to your LLM calls using partner guardrails like OpenAI moderation, schema validator, and LLM as a judge. Build reliable pipeline using routers, which allows you to have a fallback to other models in case one of the providers has an outage. Manage budgets through project level caps, cost groups, as well as with granular reporting of each provider. Finally, deploy versioned virtual models to push updates safely and roll back instantly if needed. All this without touching your main code and doing everything on LangDB AI Gateway. Visit logs.langdb.ai to learn more.